coronavirus.
So coronavirus.
Coronavirus. There are now more new cases of coronavirus being reported outside China for the first time.
Friends and loved ones were threatened with fines if they attended a funeral service.
It's really devastating. We wanted really to be there with her because we don't want her to be alone.
From complications due to the coronavirus. Nadia, his wife of more than 30
During the time I sat with Ian in the last months, I took the opportunity to write down a brief story of his life.
I'm the fourth generation of doing cremations on their family members when they have the virus.
On this terrible day, sitting by himself, and none of you were allowed to sit next to him.
Correct.
I'm Sarah and I'm 19-year-old. I'm a full-time student studying teaching degree. I'm studying at Western Sydney. I'm doing a diploma at the moment and hopefully I'll be graduating around January. My grandfather, which is my dad's dad, he passed away around May. He died from a heart attack during the COVID, which was really difficult for my family. You know, because it's during the COVID, we weren't, you know, we didn't have the opportunity to go visit him. We weren't allowed to touch him. We weren't allowed to say goodbye to him. None of my family were allowed, only the priority one, which was one of my auntie. You know, she was an emergency contact and all that stuff. So she was allowed to be there for him, for my grandfather. So it wasn't easy during the funeral. Only allowed, like, only 10 people were allowed at a time. And there was like around 60, 70 people who went. And not everyone had the opportunity to go inside and say goodbye to my grandfather, which was the most difficult time for all of us. I felt disappointed. I felt really upset because I wanted to be there for my dad inside. I wanted to hug with him. I wanted to say everything's gonna be all right. And we weren't allowed to do that because only the brothers and sisters were allowed at first, and then the second 10 will be the cousins, and the third one will be sister-in-law and brothers-in-law. Like that's why it was really disappointing, upset for me. And on my dad's behalf, it was also upsetting for him because it's not what he expected. He wanted, you know, flowers. He wanted, you know, nice music. He wanted a little prayer, you know, and everyone together, you know, holding hands. But it wasn't like that, what we expected. So Dad was very disappointing, especially for all the brothers and sisters, which was very disappointing. And me and my sister, my little brother, and my mum weren't allowed to be with my dad. So that was a bit difficult. Like none of the family were allowed to be with them. I understand why they did that. I understand because COVID, it's like on my behalf, I believe COVID it's a big thing because a lot of people passed away and that, and I understand where they're coming from. But I just feel like funerals like this, I feel like they shouldn't do restriction because at the end of the day, we're family. Only family goes see, you know, someone who we're close with. And I feel like everyone should be with each other. I feel like everyone should have that support, the confidence, like all that stuff. But the COVID just ruined it because I couldn't be there with my dad. I couldn't be there for any of my uncles or aunties. We weren't allowed to touch each other. We weren't allowed to hug each other. We weren't allowed to, you know, go and, you know, sorry for your loss. We couldn't do as much because of COVID. So I just feel like the COVID restriction shouldn't put so hard on, you know, when people passed away. At the weddings and birthdays, and that's different stories. I just feel like people who passed away it's wrong. I just feel like everyone should be together on that. On my opinion, I believe everyone should have a chance to say goodbye because all I remember was going in, touch the coffin and be like, I'm so sorry. And in Arabic for grandfather it's Shudur. So I say, I'm so sorry, Shudur. And I ran out because we weren't allowed to be there, not even 5 minutes. And we ran out and I just don't remember anything else. I don't remember saying goodbye to him. I don't remember feeling the connection with him. So yeah, I just feel like the COVID shouldn't be so hard on the funeral. It was like, it's like we're in the middle of nowhere. Like it was like a ghost town. Like it was just a coffin in the middle, and there's chairs like 5 meters away from each other, and we weren't allowed to touch each other. We weren't allowed to do anything. It just felt so empty. And you know when you see all these movies where they have big pictures and flowers, you know, but it wasn't like that. And the church that we went was very small. It was small, like a kitchen. You know, it was just small, and it wasn't wow. It wasn't like where we can go home and be like, it was beautiful. It's what he deserved. Like what he had on that day is not what he deserved. He deserved more than that. Yeah. He was just disappointing. He was just so angry because he said if the COVID wasn't, like if he didn't pass during the COVID, it will be much better. You know, everyone will be together. Everyone will feel comfortable. Everyone will feel, you know, support and all that. But it wasn't like that. He was just upset because you know, my grandfather, he was like, we call him a king. Like he was the oldest person in the family. So it was very difficult to see that, like he didn't deserve it. Like that's what I can say for now. Like it wasn't what we wanted for him. Like he didn't deserve that. Like he deserved so many things on that day. That's why I went to my dad and be like, Dad, is that how he is? He's like, no, because his best friend also passed away this year from heart attack, and he went to a church and they had a music, they had a beautiful flower, they were praying, it was beautiful, and he cried because it was so beautiful. But my grandfather's one, he was crying, but it didn't feel the same because it was so empty, and I just feel like it did affect it. You know, the COVID did affect it because I feel like there will be our priest, you know, like our chief, what they call these days, they come and they do a little prayer or something like that, but it wasn't nothing what we expected, to be honest. Yeah. It's not something I will remember, no, because I didn't remember anything. All I remember it was nothing. Like it wasn't what he, you know, deserved. That's it. Like from what I heard from other people that went to the funeral, it was beautiful. The flowers, the prayer, like from their culture and tradition, how they do it. It was so beautiful compared to our one this year. I was like, there's nothing what you guys said. And it's especially on my dad, like he had lost so many people for the last few years. And especially with his best friend this year, it was completely different. And my dad's best friend passed away just before the COVID started. I was like, wow, you got lucky. And then my grandfather, just like, it was just in the wrong timing for us.
Wow.
Hi, my name is Sarah. I'm 19-year-old and I'm a full-time student at Western Sydney University. I am doing a diploma at the moment and I am doing teaching and I hopefully would love to graduate around January and be able to do Bachelor of Teaching degree.
Awesome. What's something you remember most? What's the fondest memory you have of your grandfather?
I didn't have a close relationship with my grandfather, but the only thing I remember was he was the type of person who was tough. And as growing up, because I got a hearing impairment, so as growing up, I had to only focus on English and I didn't know much as Arabic. So I remember him saying, you have to learn Arabic. You have to be a lawyer. You have to be a doctor. And it's upsetting now because I don't have the opportunity to go up to him and be like, I'm becoming a teacher. But I remember him being so tough, being a king, you know, and he's always, you know, his little scotch and smoking. He'd be like, you be a lawyer, yeah. And then like, he was a great person. He really is. I remember him going to the markets and bringing food, and then we're like, Shador, the food is out of date. He's like, no, you can eat it. Very good. You know, and he'll get a chocolate and be like, here, eat it. And then when you see at the back, it's like out of date. Like, are you trying to kill me? Like he was a great guy. he was so tough. But it was really hard to sit with him. It was really hard to have that communication with him. But I did remember a lot of things. Like I remember taking my hearing off and be like, look, Shuto, I can't hear you. You can't talk to me, or come and chase me. You know, like oh, you're a naughty girl. There's a little things I remember him. So yeah, he was a good person.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.